Hello and welcome to my review of the Exalted Hero of Chaos for Slaves to Darkness for Warhammer Age of Sigmar from Games Workshop. This model will cost you £21 and consists of 13 plastic components. Yes, that does mean that this Exalted Hero costs £3 more than the current Chaos Lord on foot, which is £18, or you can get that Lord in the Vanguard box set. However, that Lord only consists of 8 plastic components, and I think it was an old metal mini that they turned into fine cast and then eventually into plastic, so that's been around a while. I see no reason why you couldn't use this hero as a Chaos Lord instead. The format of this review is as follows. I'll have a look up close at this completed miniature, then we'll go through the spare parts, and there are a few spare parts in this kit. We'll go through some size comparisons, and then finally I'll go through all of the rules. So let's have a look at the miniature straight away. Here it is. It's bigger than I thought, bigger than I expected. We'll do some size comparisons in a moment, but the important thing is that the helmet isn't as small as I originally kind of expected. It must be something to do with that bronzy colour and the light on it, but I expected the head to be smaller than what you see in real life. It still is a little bit. I still would have preferred it a bit bigger, but it certainly surpassed my expectations. I also would have liked to see the sword a bit longer as well. I feel like that's almost gladius size sword, but the shield is fantastic, and the rest of the miniature has a fair amount of detail. You've got a ripped cloak, you've got some fur, the vambraces have nice demon face on there. You've got a rune. The one thing I will say, you've got a rune marking on there as well, and a spike from jutting out of the shoulder pauldron. Yeah, it's a fine Exalted Hero of Chaos. I think one of the reasons why it's so pricey is just because of spare parts, because you've got some options. If they just sold it like this, I think they could have just sold it as £18, but £21 I feel is a little bit too much for him. But saying that, these are the spare parts right here, so you can equip him with dual axes if you were in like some kind of slambo pose. That's what they've done on the back of the box. With this head, I'm not a big fan of that top knot thing going on, but you've got that different head there. If we just have a little close up of that, that's what the head looks like. Might as well just show them the miniature sort of up close as well. And you've got the 2 axes that you can use. And finally, this is optional. You don't have to put the chains with the skulls and the heads on if you don't wish. I've left it off because I wanted quite a clean, I say clean look for Chaos, you know what I mean? Kind of like a clean look for the shield and things. I didn't want anything kind of hanging off it. There's enough things hanging off the other Chaos Warriors shields anyway. Speaking of which, that moves us quite neatly into some size comparisons. So we'll start off with the new Chaos Warriors. So this is the champion, and champion's on like a 32mm base, similar height, but the Exalted Hero is definitely bigger, taller. I would say like a better looking mini as well, really, but that's where he stands up. And then Kagra's Ravagers is Kagra herself. She's smaller than the Exalted Hero, so the Exalted Hero on this Terminator base will stand out amongst your Chaos Warriors as well. So definitely there is some presence there. I would love to give you a comparison with the actual Chaos Lord, but I don't have him as of yet. Another comparison I'd like to make is just with the Chaos Knight. Again, I don't have a Chaos Lord on mount either. I'm hoping to get both of those miniatures at some point, and then I'll do comparisons with these miniatures you know, in their reviews. And finally with Eternus, which is basically Varangard sized. So he still holds his own next to both of them. It's definitely, there's more mass of him than on one of the Chaos Knights. And then Be'lakor, we might as well just throw Be'lakor in here too. And that is Be'lakor. So yeah, a fair bit smaller. And the last size comparisons I like to make is just with some 40k miniatures. If you're familiar with these, you've got a normal Space Marine there, and he's a fair bit bigger than a Space Marine compared to Primaris. He's actually bigger than a Primaris too. So they have certainly, I say, Primarisified the Chaos Warriors. No, the Chaos Warriors are still smaller than Primaris, but definitely the Chosen. Speaking of which, here is one of the Chaos Chosen. Same 40mm base. Yeah, just a little bit taller than a Chaos Chosen as well. So, you know, quite a big mini. I would fathom a guess that he's bigger than the Chaos Lord too. But I think, I don't know what it is, but the Chaos Chosen, they all have more detail on them, I think, than this Exalted Hero. Another miniature what I'd like to do a comparison with is also the Demon Prince. What a fantastic miniature this one is. So yeah, that's where he stands up. Probably up to the hips of the Demon Prince maybe. So yeah, you've got your Exalted Hero and then your Demon Prince there. So this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for this Exalted Hero. You'll find him straight after all of the Chaos Lords really, as a little bit like a lieutenant, but don't let that fool you. The Exalted Hero is still a leader and it's a single unit, and it will only cost you 100 points, which is only 15 points cheaper than a Chaos Lord. The Exalted Hero of Chaos stat line reads as follows. It's a movement of 5 inches, save of 4+, bravery 8 and 6 wounds. How does that compare to a slightly more expensive Chaos Lord? Well, they have the same movement speed, but the Chaos Lord has a better save of 3+ and a better bravery, but they still have the same number of wounds. Weapon wise then, the Exalted Hero of Chaos is armed with one of the following weapon options: Rune Etched Blade and Chaos Rune Shield, or Axes of the Dark Champion. So the Rune Etched Blade is a range of 1 inch, 4 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend of -1 and a damage of 2. However, if you equip him with the Axes of the Dark Champion, still a range of 1 inch, but this time he gets 8 attacks, but it's a bit harder for him to hit at 4+, 4+ to wound, -1 to rend and damage 2. So although you're getting double the attacks, it is now a 50-50 chance of you hitting with those attacks, but they're still going to do the same amount of damage and rending. However, if you get a Rune Etched Blade, you also get that shield, and the Chaos Rune Shield has a save of 3+ instead of 4+, so that bumps up his save, and also a 5+ against mortal wounds, a bit of an invulnerable save there. Special rules: Dark Blessings. After deployment, you can roll once on the Eye of the Gods table for this unit. Glory Seeker, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of this unit's melee weapons while it is within 3 inches of any enemy heroes or enemy monsters. So you want to be getting this hero near heroes or monsters to get that extra attack. Keywords: Chaos, Slaves to Darkness, Mark of Chaos, Mortal, Eye of the Gods, Hero, Exalted Hero of Chaos. So how do the rest of his rules compare to a Chaos Lord? Well, the Chaos Lord can have that retinue. He does have the Demon Bound special rule, where if he has the War Flail, then he inflicts mortal wounds. His retinue, he can allocate wounds to them, and then the Glory in Battle, basically the retinue can fight in the combat phase. They can fight immediately. And the Chaos Lord could have that Reaper Blade, which nets him 3 attacks with a rend of -2. Which is very nice, and also the 3 attacks with the Demon Bound Steel. So he's getting 6 attacks, this hero is only getting 4. That's all I've got to say about the Exalted Hero of Chaos. I think he's a cool looking miniature, definitely a decent addition to the army, and will complement my Chaos Warrior units. But what do you guys think? of the miniature and the rules, please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Archaon Protects.